Hello, Scream Demons, and welcome to the Screams from the Basement podcast.
This is the scariest horror podcast on this side of the Black Lagoon. Screams from the Basement discusses the best double features the genre has to offer.
We also interview the industry's finest that make our screams become nightmares. I am one of your creepy co-hosts. I am Casey.
And I'm Sam the Damned, and let's get screaming.
Let's get screaming as we are celebrating A Kaiju Christmas on this episode. Welcome to
Kaiju
December,
Christmas.
everyone. This is our first episode of December 2025. We are rounding out the year. We only have 2 more double features left to go on the podcast. Both are holiday themed because we made them holiday themed. Today we are talking 2 kaiju movies, 2 Godzilla movies. Sam, what 2 movies are we going to be talking about in today's double feature?
We are talking the zany monster mashup Destroy All Monsters from 1968 and the legendary versus movie, not the legendary versus movie, the actually iconic legendary.
Lowercase legendary.
Lowercase legendary, not production company legendary. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla from 1974. Yeah, you guys might have known that I've been on kind of a Godzilla kick for the last year and a half. I believe I've talked extensively on this show about the Pluto channel having all of the Showa era Godzillas and me just having that on in the background constantly. Casey and I both loved Godzilla -1 last year, which just, yeah, more about that in Doobie Doing. But yeah, it's just been a Godzilla year for me, and our next episode that we're gonna be doing is 2 movies that I'm not as excited about. So Casey told me I got to pick the movies for our other December episode, and so I decided we're gonna have a Kaiju Christmas. We're doing Godzilla, baby. Casey, how
Yeah.
what's your history with Godzilla, for starters?
My history with Godzilla. I
Yeah.
don't have a very deep history with Godzilla. I talked about this last year, and I remember I talked about it. We did an episode. It might have been on Patreon, where we talked about our favorite first time watches from 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe number 1 or number 2 was the original Godzilla. So I had
Yeah.
not watched the original Godzilla until last year. So I'm a pretty big newbie. I've watched a handful of the 60s, 70s era Godzilla movies. I've watched all of the legendary ones and just a few like scattershot other ones. Like very brief. I can probably count on one hand and one toe how many Godzilla movies I have watched. It's not that many. I'm not a big I am a fan, so I guess that's not the right way to say that I'm not a big fan. It's just it's a relative blind spot with how many movies there are. It's kind of like James Bond in a way for me,
Yeah.
where I've seen a bunch of James Bond, and I'm a fan of James Bond, but I haven't seen all of James Bond. Same with Godzilla. I've seen a bunch of Godzilla. I'm a fan of Godzilla, but I haven't seen them all. So I'm glad
Yeah.
we are doing a Kaiju Christmas episode where I can rewatch one and watch one for the first time on the show. These are 2 fun ones, and I feel like these are 2 fan favorites in a way, or at least 2
Mm-hmm.
movies that are discussed in the fandom of Godzilla. But what
Yeah.
about you? I know you've gone through quite a few of them in the last year and a half. I assume both of our first introductions to Godzilla was the Matthew Broderick 1998 Godzilla movie, though. Because
So
that's the
it's
first one I at least
interesting.
remember being advertised and on TV and stuff. And I know it's
Yeah.
not the most accessible one for Godzilla fans. It's not the favorite. I'm also that way. It's fine. It's what it is. But what about you? What's your history with Zilla?
So it's funny that you bring up the 98 one because I have distinct memories of being a kid, seeing that advertised everywhere. Like it was on TV, it was, you went to a movie and like that trailer was in front of every movie. And I was so enamored with the idea of Godzilla. And the poster scared me. It was just, like his eye and the scaly green skin. Um but like my parents never took me to see it. right? So like I just never saw a Godzilla movie until the 2014 one with that Gareth Edwards did, the Legendary reboot. And I loved that movie. I thought it was like, I still do. It's got faults for sure, but like I think they do Godzilla right. Like the scale of him, he's scary in that. Like it's very epic. Um and yeah, then over the years, like I watched the Legendary ones. I did finally get to watch the 98 Godzilla a few years ago on VHS. And it's terrible, but I loved it.
Yeah,
the
it's not
the
great.
the hype for me was like, so, like in my mind it had been 20 years of just building up this movie that I knew was going to be terrible, but like in my brain it was still like, I saw that trailer when I was like, what, 6 years old, and I was like, I have to see this. And so I still kind of had that mindset going into it. So I won't defend it, but I will say that I enjoyed it. um and yeah, then Godzilla minus one just blew my mind, and it's been Godzilla since then. I recently picked up the Showa era
Yeah.
Criterion when it was on the half off sale, and this is like an impossible size to fit on any movie shelf. What the hell, Criterion? But
How are they packaged in there for viewers on YouTube? You can maybe see this
yeah,
that Sam's holding up here.
so it's like a booklet, and that's the thing with the list with all the movies that was on the back of it. So like there's a whole book about the history of the franchise, and it gives every movie a little write up. Invasion of Astro Monster, one of my favorites. And then the discs are all back here in these sleeves with this cool ass artwork.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's 15, all 15 of the Showa era Godzilla movies. Um what's really funny about this though, so I also have this set on digital. Like I bought it on Vudu because it was like a deal of the day for dirt cheap, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that so that I have them, like in my digital collection too. And instead of, so they have on the digital, they have Godzilla, and then they have Godzilla King of Monsters, which is like the American reworking of the original 54 Godzilla. The physical set does not have that, but it has King Kong versus Godzilla from 1963, which is really interesting. So like
Well, because I
they're the
suppose
same
technically
set.
because it's not maybe because it's not the Showa release of Godzilla that they wouldn't include it. Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. It was just weird because like the set that I have on like Voodoo has, or I guess Fandango at home now, has the same cover art, has the same, like everything is the same, except for that one movie is just not, like it doesn't have King Kong versus Godzilla. It has Godzilla King of the Monsters, which I find very fascinating. I don't know, but
Okay, so next question before we jump into the double feature: why
yeah.
these two Godzilla movies?
Um, Honestly, one of them that I really wanted to do, Invasion of Astro Monster is just one of my favorites. I love it. It's goofy. It's sci-fi, but also like Destroy All Monsters is kind of the one that has all of them in it, right? It's like 11 monsters. There's a big monster fight at the end. It's melee. It's one of the most highly regarded ones. Like it's a fan favorite. And then like you can't talk Godzilla without talking Mecha Godzilla. Like Mecha Godzilla is, I mean, aside from King Ghidorah, is like the Godzilla
It's his
nemesis.
Bizarro. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Like
it was
Superman has
just,
Bizarro Superman. Like this is yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, it was hard to pick two. I like, honestly, I was like, I almost pitched you just like changing Screams from the Basement to a Godzilla podcast for like 6 months. So,
Well, let's say this because we will likely do a Christmas movie double feature every December just because there are so many Christmas horror movies. What if we
yes.
do? What if we start making Kaiju Christmas a thing?
Yeah, we should. Let's do it. And we can
Because
we
I
can
still want to
do
go through
stuff
these, and there's
outside of the
so many of them.
Godzillas too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. I know when we initially talked about Kaiju Christmas, I also talked about I had just bought Gorgo on Blu-ray, the British Godzilla ripoff. We decided that maybe we should go actual kaiju movies for the first Kaiju Christmas, which I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's a good idea. But
Maybe
yeah.
like down the road we can do the weird like other country kaiju movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, are you ready to jump into these though?
Oh, absolutely. I am ready. I'm excited to talk both of these cuz they're a little crazy, guys. They're a little crazy.
Yeah, both of these movies are bonkers. So let's jump into it. Let's jump into the first movie in our Kaiju Christmas double feature with 1968's Destroy All Monsters, directed by Ishiro Honda, who directed I think all of the movies up to this point, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken. At
he
least
did
all
a
the Godzilla
ton of them.
movies. Written by Honda and Takeshi Kimura. The cast includes, listen to this all-star cast in this movie, Sam. Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah. Huge cast in this movie.
Yep.
But Sam, what is Destroy All Monsters all about that we feature this many monsters in it?
Well, Earth has achieved world peace, and all of the monsters are contained to one monster island, and everybody's living happily ever after. But then, a race of metallic female aliens begin to mind control the Earth's monsters, and they sabotage Monster Island, and they break them all out, and they have them start attacking all the major cities, and a group of astronauts have to band together to break the control and turn all of these metallic aliens back into hunks of golden space metal by exploiting their one weakness, the cold. That's Destroy All Monsters.
Destroy All
Oh, and then
Monsters.
monsters fight at the end.
And then they all fight. They all kick King Ghidorah's ass at the end.
Yeah. So Casey, this one was the first time watch for you, right?
Yeah.
What did you think of Destroy All Monsters?
So, again, a lot of these earlier Godzilla movies I have not watched. I think the only ones I have seen from these earlier, like pre-90s Godzilla movies are, I think, just the original and Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla.
Okay, okay,
I, I think that's the only ones I've watched, and now Destroy All Monsters. So a lot of these monsters are pretty new to me in terms
okay.
of like, oh, have they appeared in other stuff? I'm like, well, who are these people? Like, not people. Who are these monsters? Like, are you in other stuff? Are you just in this because you need more monsters in Monsterland? So it and I don't know if there's like an actual chronological order to watch these movies in or how well they connect from one to the other. I think they're all pretty standalone for the most part.
Yeah, they're all. I mean, it's a little bit like James Bond, where like, you might.
Sure, they connect together. Yeah.
Yeah, like they connect together, but you can watch them in just about any order, and it makes sense. You know.
I was utterly charmed by the miniatures in this movie and how they use the monsters to interact with all the miniatures,
Yep.
especially when you have so many people in monster suits. It's so much fun. Yeah, this movie it maybe lacked a little substance and it was maybe a little slow in like the second act for me, but I had a blast watching just people in monster suits beat the crap out of each other. Like I
Yeah.
wish Legendary's Godzilla would throw a drop kick. That's all I'm asking for. Like
I
those
mean, he
movies are
at least
starting.
suplexes Kong.
He does suplex Kong like on top of a bunch of buildings, but I'm waiting for them to go this goofy with that. They're getting there,
Yeah.
but I want them to go really goofy and just have Godzilla like start throwing punches and doing a drop kick on someone.
Yeah. It is funny. One of my notes in this is actually for this one in particular is like the goofy nature of this and like the silly kind of sci-fi-ness of some of these Godzilla sequels. It's like the first one is a very haunting, like it's an emotional war story. Like it is about like
Yeah,
the decimation of Japan by the nuclear bomb. Like it's a dark movie, and then they go to like this stuff, which is so zany, and there's still like some social commentary in there, but it's mostly just fun monster romps. But like I feel like the goofy nature of these is not that far off, or at least like what Wingard's doing, specifically with Godzilla X Kong and New Empire, is not that far off from this. So like people going like, "Oh, he doesn't even take it seriously." I'm like, I mean, most of these movies don't. Like,
No. And that's why I'm glad right now we have, because I think that the Legendary movies are going to continue. They haven't announced a new Godzilla movie, but I know there's the TV show that's still going.
yeah,
There
I
might
still
be a
need to catch up to
Kong
that.
sequel in the works or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I love that we have that one going, which is starting to get goofier and goofier with each
Yeah.
installment. And then we have Godzilla -1, which was for me my favorite movie of that year, and it's just
Yeah.
an incredible capital M movie. So I
Yes.
love that we have both of those going at the same time. But yeah, this one here, comparing it, like we can kind of compare it to the original movie, where the original movie is much like Godzilla -1, and Destroy All Monsters is definitely the Godzilla v Kong New Empire of
Yeah.
that comparison. So I also got a lot of Jurassic Park vibes, or Jurassic Park has a lot of Godzilla Destroy All Monsters vibes for sure,
Oh
especially in
yeah.
the opening act of this movie. I was getting like Jurassic Park 2 vibes, 2 and 3
Yeah.
especially. Probably 3. 3 is the one that opens with like the dad and the son like hang gliding,
Yeah. Yep.
right?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because they get Sam Neill goes to find the kid because the kid goes missing when they're hang
That's
gliding.
right. Yeah.
This reminded me of Jurassic Park 3, and I like Jurassic Park 3 is easily my favorite sequel in the Jurassic Park series.
It embraces a B movie vibe that like none of the other ones do. It's
Just like
great.
this. This is
Yeah.
a total B movie, kind of before they even considered this stuff B movies. Like, of course, we had like the drive-in type movies of the 1950s and 60s, but like you don't necessarily think of Godzilla movies as B movies. This is 100% a B movie
Yeah. Oh, for
because
sure.
it's literally like it's kind of throwing everything against the wall. Same with Godzilla vs Mechagodzilla, where okay, we just have aliens, and aliens are coming to Earth, and they're going to mind control or almost a dozen monsters. And when that doesn't work, they're going to summon the three-headed monster from outer space to come destroy them all. It's like, what? What is happening?
Yeah. And when that doesn't work, they summon a different flame bird kind of monster that comes
Yeah.
down. It's wild, yeah. Um, I love like I love Monster Island as like a concept in these movies, and that is something that they like keep kind of going back to. Like Monster Island is a thing, which I mean, like I guess you kind of have that with Skull Island in the new like legendary Warner
Or
Brothers
even what's
ones.
not Middle Earth, Center Earth? Is that what it's
Oh
called?
yeah, Hollow Earth. Yeah, yeah.
Hollow Earth.
Yeah,
It's kind of, it
exactly.
is Monster Island. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm waiting for them to actually put aliens in the legendary ones because I'm like aliens are always a part of these early Godzilla movies. They're in so many of them. Like I'm going to bring up Invasion of Astro Monster all the time. I love that movie. But like all of these movies to some extent usually have something to do with aliens or like a different kind of like Mothra is summoned by these like tiny little nymphs essentially, and like there's just all these kind of cool little like sci-fi fantasy flourishes that I feel like Wingard is starting to dabble in, but I want him to like fully dive into it, like let's let's have Dan Stevens' kaiju dentist also end up being a fucking alien from like Planet X or some shit.
Yeah. And they're getting there. I think they are getting there. I would not
Yeah.
be surprised if in the next Godzilla vs. Kong, where we're full on aliens have invaded Earth to control the kaiju.
Yeah, 100%. We need to do that.
I
Um
also want more of these monsters being thrown back into the monster verse, because I think out of this movie we've gotten Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, and Rodan.
Yes, yeah, those were the ones that were in like the new Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
Because the
Um,
one thing, the original Godzilla, the 2014, like the like monsters he was facing off, they just called them like Mutos, and they were like just kind of generic like pterodactyl looking things. Um, which was like one of my biggest things with that one was I was just like, oh, the other monsters that are there are kind of boring, you know?
yeah, I kind of forgot there was other monsters.
Yeah. um, Casey,
This one, yeah, go ahead.
what one thing I want to bring up is this movie is rated G by the MPA, right?
Yeah.
Like this is a G-rated movie. You watch a guy get shot in the head, like you watch the bullet go into his head and blood pours out and then he falls over. Like there's gnarly stuff in this movie that like would not be in a rated G movie today, and it shocks me that it was even in a G movie. Like you watch a guy kill himself by yeeting himself off a balcony.
Yeah, that was one of my notes. It was just dude jumps out window. What the fuck?
Yeah, and it's just smash cuts to like the clearly like the test crash dummy in a wig. Just
Yeah.
I love the in camera effects of these movies.
Both of these movies are kind of on the edge of like showing a lot of blood for G-rated movies, because in the next
Yeah.
one, like Godzilla's bleeding a ton in that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he gets messed up in that movie.
Yeah.
And
I think for me, one of the things that stood out while watching Destroy All Monsters was the astronauts who are a part of Moonlight SY-3 was their spaceship, but it's just
Mhm.
how fast they travel to and from the moon
Oh
in
yeah.
this movie. There's a
It's like
point.
it's like a 15-minute drive.
Yeah, it is. It's like a drive. There's a point in this movie where they're like, "Oh no, we got to go back to the moon." I'm like, go back to like how fast did it take you guys to get to Earth from the moon? Like, how fast are you going back there? Like, it feels like you said, it's just we're gonna hop in our spaceship and then 15 minutes later we're there. We're on the moon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty great. Like I love all the moon base stuff. I love like the set design and the colors of the moon base. Like it's all like lime green and bright blues and stuff, and
And a bunch of just
the
like control panels of stuff.
yeah, like blinking red lights and
Yeah.
it's
It's like, here's a
and
square light that's blinking yellow. What is that? I don't know what that does, but there they are.
yeah, and they always have like the screens up and Godzilla and the other monsters are like perfectly framed and they can see what's happening anywhere in the world from the exact same angle that the camera is showing us.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun. There's like
Every
UFO chases in this movie.
every door on the spaceship makes the same like whooshing sound like every space door makes. It's like,
Yep. Yep. And it's
and it's
always just like
very clearly like on a very rickety like cardboard setup to slide the door back and forth.
yeah, it's like it's cheap 60s sci-fi
Yeah.
100%. Like and that's to me that's like the charm of these movies though is they're like they're not made with a ton of money. You know what I mean? Like they've got money for miniatures, they've got money for monster suits, and honestly probably not even money for monster suits. They're probably just using the same monster suits over and over and over, which is
Yeah,
why you
yeah.
see so many of these monsters pop up in all of these movies. Um but like I just I don't know, there's something so charming about the handmade quality of these where you can see the filmmaking on display and I love that. I there are people that kind of for lack of a better term like bash these movies for being guys in suits and I'm just like
Fun.
that's like
Like,
the
where else are you gonna
appeal.
get
Like
that? Yeah.
it's
What
I don't understand, you know?
what I love about this one in particular, because I think like pretty much every time you see the monsters in this movie, it is literally just guys in suits smashing miniatures. I
Yeah.
don't think there's any other time you see the monsters outside of that context. I think Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, you get better framing. Like, it does feel like they're in the real world in that one.
Yeah.
Here, it's like, no, it's just dudes in monster suits on sets
Yeah.
punching down buildings and stuff. And that's
Yeah.
like every time they show up. Even when the military comes and fights the monsters, it's like, oh, these are like toy army tanks and army
Yeah.
jeeps with very clearly no one in them. And I think
Yep.
there's a point where like they show like a helicopter flying in, and it's like there's nobody in that helicopter.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't even put it in like a little miniature guy. Like,
No, there's like no composite framing whatsoever.
no,
they don't put like a real human and a monster in like the same shot
no,
ever in this movie. Um but like the monster sequences are fun. Like
they're fun.
the Manda, the like snake monster, him there's like there's a beautiful shot of him and Godzilla wrecking Tokyo together where like Manda is like wrapped around the subway, like the subway track, and Godzilla's just in the back just punching a building to death. Like and the building like explodes and Godzilla does his roar thing, and it's just so much fun. You got Rodan flying around, and then like for whatever reason Mothra is just like a worm for this entire movie.
Has not hatched out of her cocoon apparently.
Yeah.
Just Mothra's the slug version of that evolution.
It's funny, the first time I watched it and they're like, "Oh, and there's Mothra." And I'm looking at all the monsters on screen going like, "Where's Mothra?" And then I'm like, "Oh, it's Mothra without wings. It's kind of it's Wormra."
Yeah.
But
Larva.
Larva, there we go. Uh you have a token white guy in this movie. He's the only white guy in the whole thing. He just has a mustache and he talks exposition, and that's it. That's all he does, and that's great. I love that. I think more movies should just have a token white guy in them.
So when we get I'm gonna jump to the
Did
third
that come
act.
off wrong? I don't want to sound like
No. I agree. I kind of forgot there was a white guy in this though.
Exactly. Like that's the kind of white guy you need in a movie. One you just forget is there.
Yeah. Every movie needs a Jai Courtney. That's what we're saying.
Yes.
So I want to jump to the third act because for me, this movie, and I'll argue in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, I'm just as interested in the human story in that one as I am in the monster one.
Oh yeah.
In Destroy All Monsters, I'm not interested in any part of this human story. Even the aliens are a little boring because they're kind of just ladies like with like sparkling suits. They're not as fun. The aliens in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, though, oh my god, they're maybe some of my favorite aliens in any movie ever. They're so cool. I love them.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. I will say the aliens here, the fun thing about them is like you find out partway through the movie that they need extreme heat to stay alive, and when they get cold, they just shrivel up into these little metallic bricks.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hilarious. They also use like they're using mind control devices not only on the monsters but on the humans. And there's a scene where like a guy just rips a lady's earrings off of her earlobes, and she's just magically like not a villain anymore. You don't really get a sense of who all of these people are and like what they're doing. Like there's a lot of just jumping around from scene to scene, and you're following multiple groups of people that are never really clearly defined. But then like they put enough monster action in throughout for me to just not care, you know?
I was a little bit like, all right, let's get to some monster action, and then we get it, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I want. Because in the end, of course, they switch the monsters back. They're all good guys now. But now that the what were the aliens called again? The Calyx, don't have control of the monsters. Like, all right, well, here's Plan B, and it's goddamn King Ghidorah flying in.
Yeah.
Ready to kick ass. And I love this is I know I think I've only ever seen King Ghidorah in then King of the Monsters, right?
Yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
he's pretty great in that. Like
He's great
yeah,
in that, but in this one, I feel like King Ghidorah, like it takes all of these monsters to stop King
yeah,
Ghidorah. Like
yeah.
each of
He's
them have to fight a head and a tail, and like they got to like stop him from flying. It's like no, it takes all the monsters to stop King Ghidorah because this is the final boss.
And I mean, it's a puppet essentially. Like but it's such a good like it's such a good villain design. I love like the gold Hydra aspect of it. Like I like that he doesn't breathe fire; he breathes lightning. Like there's so much to love about Ghidorah. And I love that he's like the final boss, and he shows up with like I forget what the name of the other monster he shows up with is, but the like flaming bird that goes around and doesn't really
Like
end up
Fire
doing
Dragon is,
much.
I think that's all
Yeah,
they
it's like a
call him.
oh yeah, that's what they call him, a fire dragon. Yeah, um, and the fire dragon's cool, but like
King
King
Ghidorah's
Ghidorah
cooler.
is just like
Yeah,
yeah, way cooler. Um, I
maybe my
love the scene where
favorite design of any of these monsters.
really so one of the ones that I find really underrated, and he does pop up from time to time because he's kind of just like Godzilla's buddy, is Anguirus. That's like the like shrew with the spikes and the like
Yeah.
horned nose. I love him. He is one of my all-time favorites. Like I just he's
He's the
if
one
I
that looks
lived
like
in
kind of
this
like
universe,
a Stegosaurus, right?
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um if I lived in this universe, I would 100% try and steal him from Monster Island and just keep him as a pet. You know?
That'd be your Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No one, yeah. Unlike Son of Godzilla, Baby Godzilla, nobody wants that.
Oh god, he's nightmare fuel. Son of Godzilla, fun movie. Weird movie, but really fun. Yeah, yeah. Son
Yeah,
of
I love in this
Godzilla
third act
is
where it takes all of them together to stop King Ghidorah. Like one of them's like holding one of his heads, and another one's biting down on it, and you have Rodan like flying around, and
yep.
yeah, it's good stuff that it takes all the monsters to stop King Ghidorah. And then you have the fire dragon like blows up Monster Island.
Yeah. There's a ton of explosions in this third act. A ton of explosions. And it just I don't know. There's something about like there's something about all the miniature work and just like blowing stuff up, Minsu's like all of these effects come together and like you never quite I don't know, like to me I never lose my sense of belief. Like I just believe this is a real thing that's happening. Especially when you're not like I think you're right. I think Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla does a better job of like incorporating the humans into that. But like at the same time with this movie, like I don't it's not like I'm necessarily watching going like that's not real. You know what I mean? Like it's still got that tangible real feeling that we talk about when we talk about like practical effects to where like I don't know, it's a guy in a suit but like when these
Believe
monsters get hurt,
in this universe, I believe those monsters exist.
yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And it hurts. Like they're not just guys in suits when they get hurt like I hurt. I'm like, no, not you know. It's just I don't know. I love these silly movies. They're B movies through and through, but they're like some of the funnest, most like inventive B movies. Um we were watching a totally different thing. We were watching a K drama the other night. Um because Maria's been like really into K dramas. And I was just like, I think in general, like I just don't think any of the Asian countries are taking their like ADHD meds because like the way they tell stories is so great because they will just go off on a tangent and it doesn't matter if it is like directly connected to the main through line of what this is about, Like they're just gonna go on that journey if it is entertaining to them. And I love that energy. I love that aspect of like storytelling. I love that aspect of filmmaking. Like not everything has to be, what do you call it? Necessary. Not everything has to be necessary to the plot to be in a movie. Now, when you get to like be a 3 hour long movie and you're just going on these vanity quests, that's where I get a little, but like these Godzilla movies that are like 90 minutes, if there's a scene that's just in there because it's kind of like, why is that in there? I just love it. Like it's, I don't know. It's my favorite thing. I like when creatives don't take their ADHD meds and just let their brains run wild.
Well, I think we've let our brains run wild enough on Destroy All Monsters. Sam, how many kaiju are you giving Destroy All Monsters?
Oh my god, I don't even remember what I gave it 4.5 out of 5. I love this movie. I I probably more likely it's a 4, but I love how go for broke this one is. I love how it just like it puts 11 monsters on the screen together. Like that final fight is something so cool. I love the like the moon base stuff and like all of the astronauts, the 15-minute drives to the moon and back, all of that. Like there's just something about this movie that I enjoy immensely. And yeah, I can't quite put my finger on why I think it's close to perfect, but it's close to perfect. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5 for me. Casey, what about you?
I gave this I gave this one 3 kaiju out of 5. I like this movie. I think it's a ton of fun. I might have had too much monster overload where I'm like, I don't know who all these monsters are. So I'm like
Yeah,
trying like I'm wanting to spend more time with some of them and like get to know like their powers and what sort of like their personalities and stuff are. But I get that's not this movie. I think it's fun. I think the third act is why you watch this movie for that all-out monster fight. The battle against King Ghidorah is awesome. It's easily going to be the part I remember the most out of this movie. I Yeah, definitely recommend this if people have not watched this one and they want just an all-out monster mash kaiju movie. I think this one gives you a little bit of a taste of all of these monsters.
yeah, I agree. I like you. We kind of threw you into the deep end with this episode, where like, yeah, this movie is just like, here's all the monsters. Like, this is it. This is what we've got. Um, this movie of all movies feels like we've got 11 monster suits in a closet that are gonna deteriorate if we don't like use them for something. So let's just fucking make a movie.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I'm glad you at least liked it if you didn't love it.
Yeah, definitely liked it. Just didn't love it. The next one
Yeah.
though, I love. But before we get
Yeah.
to that, let's get to our first ad break of this show. We've joined the Full Moon Army, and we want you to take advantage of our exclusive offer for listeners to Screams from the Basement. Full Moon Features, best known for their Video Isle classic franchises, Puppet Master, Subspecies, and the Evil Bong series, is offering 10% off every order on fullmoonhorror.com when you use our discount code SCREAMS at checkout. This goes towards all in-stock items, including Blu-rays, DVDs, replicas, action figures, and so much more. Again, visit fullmoonhorror.com and use promo code SCREAMS at checkout to save 10%. Link in the episode description. Exclusions do apply. All right. Well, let's move on to our second movie in our Kaiju Christmas double feature, which is 1974's Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, which is the 20th anniversary celebration of Godzilla. This is what this movie was made for. It was used to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the original film. So this movie, though, is directed by Jun Fukada, written by Jun and Hiro, excuse me, Hiroyasu Yamamura. The cast of this one, again, all-star cast in this movie. We got Godzilla, we got Mecha Godzilla, and we have King Caesar. Sam, what is Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla all about?
Group of academics and an undercover Interpol agent try to use the statue of an ancient monster to fight an evil race of space monkeys who have created a mechanical monster that they call Mechagodzilla. This movie is wild. Was it you? It might have been an earlier Letterboxd review from like the first time you watched it. Was it you that said it was like Godzilla meets Bond meets Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's a perfect way to describe
That's what this movie is.
Like,
It's like Godzilla meets like the like goofy Bond movies of
like the almost like the Roger Moore ones, sort
like
of.
Roger
right?
Moore, yeah, the Roger Moore ones where he like goes to space and shit.
Yeah.
And the like later Planet of the Apes movies, like Beneath the Planet of the Apes and Conquest of like those
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes movies. Like it feels like all of those just thrown into a blender, and this is what we get: Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. I
Yeah.
love this movie. I think this movie's a blast. It's so much fun. Easily out of all the Godzilla movies I've seen, it's one of my favorites. I think.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, I like the human story. I think the human story is a ton of fun. The human and alien story. It's a ton of fun. Like we get assassins, we get like spy espionage, then we get alien space monkeys, and then we get Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla and a brand new monster, which I don't know if King Caesar ever shows up ever again. I have no idea.
I do not believe so.
He might be a one and done monster. But this is kind of ahead of its time too. Like opening of this movie. Okay, get to your thought. I'll throw it to you next because I want to talk about the opening, just the title cards of this movie.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla? Had you seen this one before?
I had not watched this one all the way through. I'd caught bits and pieces of it on Pluto and stuff. So there were a few moments that like genuinely surprised me. For one, well, no, we'll get into it. We'll get into the specifics later. But there were moments that surprised me in this one. This is like the way that this movie frames the monsters is one of the best from this era since the first one. Like I feel like there's a genuine sense of terror and scale in this movie. Like even though it's kind of it's still a goofy B movie. It's still got aliens. It's still got all of that. Like there's a real sense of urgency and a real sense of like danger in this movie that I really appreciate. It's so very 70s too. Like it's so very 70s and I love that. The undercover Interpol agent who's posing as a reporter in like shades and a trench coat. I'm like, that guy's not a reporter.
He's the 70s reporter, Sam.
Yeah, not even in the 70s was that guy a reporter.
He's probably my favorite character in this movie. He's awesome.
He's fantastic. He's the best character for sure. I love this one. This was a really fun. This was a really fun just like sit down and watch the whole thing kind of movie. It's probably one of the best in this era for sure.
So in the opening, right away we get, and I feel like this is kind of ahead of its time, we get literally an exploding title card.
Yes.
Like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and it's like an exploding title card. It's like like the Rocky IV title card, where it's just like, yeah, Rocky IV.
Yeah, exactly. It's got that like you said, Rocky IV, Lethal Weapon kind of vibe. Like,
Cheesemo energy behind it.
Yeah. Like, you're in for a fight movie,
Yes. Yep.
It's like, I'm pretty sure Rocky and like Lethal Weapon and stuff, they took cues from this movie,
100%. Yeah. But in the opening of this movie, we kind of, and again, I do like the setup of like, this movie has like an impending doom.
Mm-hmm.
Which again kind of harkens back to that original Godzilla. Like this movie's still a ton of fun and it's totally bonkers, but the setup is tonally pretty similar to that first Godzilla of like, oh, here's this like ancient prophecy where this woman, she has a vision of a monster destroying a city, which you're like, oh, okay, like if that's gonna happen, apparently that's already happened how many times over the past 20 years? It's not that unique of a vision, but
Yeah.
it might be in the context of this movie. I don't know. But she has a prophecy of a monster destroying a city. Then they go inside this cave and see the prophecy of King Caesar, that monster who stops like the bad monster from destroying the city.
Yeah.
And they say that when you see black clouds rising from a mountain, which I believe is Mount Fuji in both of these movies, is where
I believe so, yeah.
where this is. So a monster will rise, or black clouds will rise from a mountain, and a monster will rise to destroy the world. It's a world ender.
Mm-hmm.
And
And two monsters will rise up to stop it, one of which
Yes.
is King Caesar. They also find space titanium in the in the cave too.
In the cave,
I love how
and
they just call it
and the
space
professor,
titanium.
space titanium, and the professor has a weird pipe that if you separate the metal part from the wooden part, it like changes like gravitational poles.
Yeah, it's strange. It's
very strange. It does come back later in the movie. It's MacGuffin's smoke pipe, but yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but it's there and it's in the plot, and in the context of this movie, it sort of makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And meanwhile, you also have like this statue that everybody seems to be out to get the statue of King Caesar because it's the thing that's gonna wake him up, I guess. Although that's not really the thing that wakes him up. He gets woken up by a lullaby, Casey.
Yeah, there's an entire song in this movie.
It stops dead in its tracks to sing a song that lasts longer than King Caesar does in this movie.
Yeah, it lasts longer than his fight against Mechagodzilla, that's for sure.
It's so funny. Yeah, I also like the score of this movie is really fun. Like there's like the big bombast and there's the like you said, the ominous vibes, but then like some of the music choices and just the like human scenes, like when they're driving from place to place, is just like weird and a little offbeat. And I don't know, the music choices kept making Maria and I take note of the music. It was just like, God, this is so fun. This is like a fun score to put on. So Criterion, I know you don't do wax records or anything, but if you could get some vinyl LPs of all of these Godzilla scores, I'd buy a box set of those too.
You gotta think that some of the major ones probably have.
Probably, right?
Like, this is one of the big Godzilla movies. I would think there's gotta be a vinyl pressing of Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla score. Yeah. And also, like, this is, again, the first time in a while where Godzilla's, well, I guess we talked about it in the last one, Godzilla's a bad guy, technically, in that one, but it never feels like humans are actually scared of Godzilla in that one.
Yeah.
Because they know pretty much right away, oh, he's under mind control.
Yeah. Because, like, he's not... He kind of turns into... I think it's like Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, that movie, where he kind of stops being a villain and starts being a little bit of like at least an anti-hero in a certain way. But like, yeah, this one kind of makes him feel like he's a villain again, especially like Anguirus, his little spiky friend. So I had totally forgotten. Yeah, I'd totally forgotten about how like Mechagodzilla was in a Godzilla skin suit, which is hilarious.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd completely forgotten about that for whatever reason. I don't know. I didn't think about it. And like I was genuinely a little like, "Oh my God, Godzilla's like killing his friend. What the fuck?" You know? It was making me really sad. And then part of his shoulder comes off. I'm like, "Oh, duh." I knew that.
But as an audience member, it doesn't lean you to think that this is like something else. You're like, oh, what happened to Godzilla?
Yeah, like why is he all of a sudden like beating up this monster that he's been living peace. Like, he's basically roommates with this guy. Like,
kicking the shit out of this monster.
oh my god, he breaks his fucking jaw.
He breaks his jaw. He picks him up by his tail and just starts like smashing him down
Yeah.
a bunch of times, and then slowly walks up to him and grabs his jaw and like just starts like pulling it and moving it, and it's like,
Yeah.
breaks his jaw. Does not kill Anguirus, but he damn near does. We don't see him again in the rest of this movie.
Yeah, it's upsetting. Like, as someone who really likes Anguirus, it's like, it sucks. I hate that. I love that scene, but I hate it.
Yeah.
Um,
But I also think the movie does a good job of like, it doesn't make you think Godzilla is the bad guy for too long. It's within the next 5 to 10 minutes after that fight where you're like, oh, the skin comes completely off of Godzilla.
The Mecha Godzilla entrance is awesome.
Yeah. When you have real Godzilla showing up and against Mecha Godzilla in the skin suit, and they just start throwing down, there's just two Godzillas throwing down, and you get Mecha Godzilla's big entrance. My favorite line of this movie, Mecha Godzilla would be a fitting name. I'm like, yes, it would. And then all of a sudden it cuts to the aliens who are controlling Mecha Godzilla, and they're calling him Mecha Godzilla already. Like, that's so funny.
It was so funny. We were watching it, and like, and that happened, and Maria goes, "Convenient how they just all had the same name for him." I'm like, that is his name. Like,
it is a fitting name.
It's a fitting name. But yeah, that whole the fight sequence between like the two Godzillas with the Mecha Godzilla review is so it's just so good. It's so cinematic. Like, when you have like because like when Mecha Godzilla gets like his suit gets burned off and he's like all backlit, and it's epic. Like, the way it's lit, the way it's shot, like, it is genuinely like, holy shit, this is cool.
We also get a sense of scale because we have our human characters, the professor, and I believe it's a professor and his daughter and another scientist. And the professor, I think, is the one that gives him the name Mechagodzilla because it's a fitting name. But we see them watching the fight. Like, we get a sense of scale of how far they are away from the monsters and how tall the monsters are hovering over the buildings. Like, we get that sense of scale in this movie where we do see humans and monsters interact. Well, at least in the same framing. But then you get shown off all of Mechagodzilla's powers.
Yeah. He's got,
which
like, finger rockets.
You get a ton of. Yeah, he gets torpedo fingers, which is awesome. His laser eyes, and then also has rockets on his feet so he can fly.
Yeah. I love when Mechagodzilla flies. It's the coolest part.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It
feels like the Megazord from Power Rangers.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, Power Rangers is deeply indebted to Godzilla.
Yes, 100%. I'm pretty sure even in the comic books they've done Godzilla versus Power Rangers.
That would not surprise me at all. At all.
Pretty sure they have. At least, like, recently too.
The the one line that comes to after the Mechagodzilla reveal is like, I love when they're like, "It's controlled by aliens. The space titanium proves it."
Yeah, from aliens from Black Hole Planet 3. That's where these aliens are from. Black Hole Planet 3. I don't know if there's a Black Hole Planet 1 and 2. I have no idea. Maybe in earlier Godzilla movies, maybe in later ones. I'm not sure, but these specific aliens are from Black Hole Planet 3. Then we get there's a couple assassin type characters in this movie.
Yes.
So you get the Interpol agent that we later find out he's an Interpol agent, but when he first introduced himself to our main characters, he says he's a
reporter.
He's a reporter, just kind of like a seedy reporter. He even admits he's a seedy reporter, and he wants to talk about the the statue, the King Caesar statue, versus this actual assassin who like breaks into their house and tries to steal a statue, breaks into their hotel, like
Yeah,
breaks
he like breaks into
onto
their cruise ship.
their cruise ship. Yeah,
Yeah.
and a pretty, like, I will say in that scene, there's a pretty good day for night. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh
On the
yeah.
cruise ship. Yeah.
And the chase that ensues is really fun. Like, my favorite part is whenever any of these aliens get injured or die, like the human facade goes away and they like turn back into their like monkey selves.
You see, Sam, just like how Mechagodzilla shed his skin and revealed his true self,
Yep.
these aliens from Black Hole Planet 3 shed their human skin and showed them their real selves, which are apes from Planet of the Apes.
Yes, 100%. It's a total Planet of the Apes riff.
I mean, King Caesar, that's a character from Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, 100%. Like, this does feel kind of indebted to that movie in a weird way, while also being totally, totally different. Like, there's nothing,
Yeah.
like, other than that, there's no actual similarity.
Just that in America during this time, like Planet of the Apes was pretty popular and it was going through that original series, much like Godzilla in Japan
Yep.
was very popular going through its original version of the series.
Yep.
I think at some point, I think Planet of the Apes is close enough for us to talk about it on this show.
Oh yeah, we should. We honestly should. Like I feel like sci-fi and horror kind of go together quite a bit. Like it's and there's some existential horror in those Planet of the Apes movies for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
The also the alien guns that they use totally look like dicks. Like they're penis guns. They're penis guns 100%.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like the first time they pulled one out, I'm like, that's a dick.
I love when they're on the cruise ship. This is another part that made me laugh out loud of the convenience of it, much like the name of Mechagodzilla. Is on the cruise ship, that assassin gets killed by the Interpol agent.
The Interpol guy.
But we still believe that he has the statue when he falls overboard into the ocean.
Oh yeah.
Until it's revealed, oh no, that was a fake. It's like,
Yeah.
What? Where did you get
like,
a fake version of that statue?
And his explanation is, if you want to fool your enemies, you also have to fool your friends. So no one else was in on it. It was just some random guy that switched the like. It was just one guy in the whole party that knew that those things had been switched, and it was so that made me laugh so much. At one point, these people get kidnapped, and the aliens cook them alive, or at least attempt to. They like put them in a giant gas oven, essentially, and it's really like that's intense. I was like, again. These are movies, like, I don't even know. This one might have been PG, but even PG, I'm like, that's intense. They're susuffocating and they're sweating and they're, like, falling over. And I'm like, what are we watching?
And again, you have because that's the professor's daughter and one of the other scientists. They basically blackmail the professor to be like, okay, you need to help us. Rebuild Godzilla after the fight, I guess.
Yeah, because, like, Godzilla... they built it from scratch, but, like, they need his help repairing it after Godzilla damages him. And they think they killed Godzilla, but Godzilla obviously isn't dead, because he's got to come back. But, no, I don't know. And the scientist, when he's like... He helps them, and then he's like, I want to see my family, and walks right up to the doorframe of the cell. I'm like, you fell for the oldest trick in the book. Of course they were going to shove you in there and shut the door.
Yeah, never complete the project until, you know whatever you're getting blackmailed for is going to happen. Like, come on.
Right. Yeah. So all of that happens. They escape the compound. And they bring the statue...
He doesn't even have, like, a kill safe in Mechagodzilla.
No, he doesn't.
The kill safe is his
Yeah,
pipe, which
yeah,
has
that's
nothing to
right.
do with rebuilding Godzilla.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh
This
my God.
professor just kind of he was not the smartest. He kind of screwed
No.
himself over.
Yeah.
But then you had the group that returns the King Caesar statue basically to like where the prophecy is like this is where you return it and this is where King Caesar will come. You get this an entire song for King Caesar to return. It's
It
so
stops
funny.
dead in its tracks to just have this lady sing a song on a beach while Mechagodzilla is lumbering towards them. And all you're seeing is this lady like sitting on the beach singing to a monster who is still sleeping.
It's like
Also,
wake your ass up. We got you
we
gotta
gotta
fight.
win tomorrow.
We gotta win tomorrow. Yeah, it goes full
I
water boy of like wake his ass up.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Also, that group of people, the old man, that is 100% a young actor in old man makeup, right? Like that is 100% old man drag. And not an
I
old
don't
guy.
think so. I don't think
Are you
so.
sure? He looks like the youngest old person I've ever seen in my life. The way
No.
he moves is way too spry for as old as that guy is like playing.
It kind of reminds, and this might be a bit racial stereotyping. I apologize for that, but he kind of reminds me of the old guy in Kung Pao Enter the Fist. You know, from the original footage from like the
Yeah.
70s. And that guy
Okay,
is
I
pretty
kind of get
spry for
that.
like his old age too.
That's true. That's true. That's true. I can't believe we're using Kung Pao Enter the Fist to determine the age of an actor, but yeah, sure.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. It reminds the similar old man qualities to them.
Yeah, that's
I
that's
think it's an
true.
actual
That's
old
true.
guy. I do think it's an actual old guy.
I didn't look it up, but I just I don't know. At one point, like Maria and I were like, "That's not an old guy, is it? Like that's 100% a young guy with old guy makeup," which would be
Um,
funny.
it would be funny. I don't think so. I would assume it's just an old actor.
Yeah, probably, probably.
But then we get to our big boss fight. We get Mechagodzilla versus King Caesar. King Caesar has risen. I don't love the look of King Caesar. I think he's kind of
It's
goofy
really
looking and
bad.
like yeah, he's like
Like
sort of hairy, sort of scaly. Like I don't know. It's really a weird look for a monster. It's not
he
what I
also doesn't.
expected King Caesar to look like.
No, he doesn't look like the statue.
No,
He
no, no,
doesn't
not
look
at
like
all.
the statue at all. And like he's just he looks like one of the he looks like one of the bad Power Ranger villains. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
like he doesn't look like one of the good Power Ranger villains, you know what I mean? But like I mean he's fun enough. Like he has his little fight scene that lasts like not even as long as the lullaby that woke him up.
Not very long until Godzilla starts coming out of the ocean, which is awesome. Like
Yeah.
you see
Oh
the
yeah.
ocean like bubbling, and you're like, oh yeah, here he comes, and Godzilla comes out, and they're like, there he is, the second monster. It's Godzilla, and it's like, yeah. And you kind of get
Yep.
this really cool shot of like Mecha Godzilla in the middle. You have King Caesar on one side, Godzilla on the other side, and
Yeah.
then you have Mecha Godzilla being a badass, spins his head around
Yeah.
and starts fighting King Caesar one way with his head spun around and then like shooting torpedoes out of his feet towards Godzilla and knocks both of them down.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like this final fight is genuinely like it's one of the best final fights in any of these movies.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so like it's so ridiculous. And it culminates with Godzilla turning himself into a giant magnet somehow so that Mechagodzilla
The
can't get
thing,
away.
the pipe.
Yeah, the pipe. The pipe gives him magnetic powers.
Not before Mechagodzilla has like this force field. He like creates a force field that
Oh yeah, oh my god.
Godzilla can't get to, and when Godzilla tries to go at it, he starts shooting laser beams at Godzilla's neck, and he like starts bleeding. Like
Yeah,
Godzilla's legitimately bleeding in this movie. Um, but
it's
yeah,
upsetting.
then you get the professor who gets his hands back on his magical pipe. that if you separate it, like magnetic force fields go on opposite directions. And he tells the assassin, not the assassin, the Interpol agent to put one piece on one side of the control room and the other piece on the other side, and that somehow creates a force field within, like an opposing force field within Mechagodzilla, and makes Godzilla, the original Godzilla, have like magnetic powers, I guess.
It's really,
this is what I wrote down in
B-movie science.
This is what I wrote down in my notes. Godzilla powers up with his magnetic pull from magical smoke pipe.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, one of the characters even goes like, Godzilla turned himself into a giant magnet. And it's just, yeah. And then, yeah, they beat him. They, like, pretty sure, doesn't Godzilla, like, take his head off? Like, he just...
Yeah. No, well, Mechagodzilla blows up, and then when Mechagodzilla blows up, it, like, shoots Godzilla into the ocean.
Yeah.
And then our humans escape. They shoot all the monkey aliens. One of the monkey aliens, like, the main one, gets shot in the neck and, like, starts, like, oozing black blood out of his neck.
Yeah. It's gnarly.
It is gnarly. Yeah. Basically, Godzilla ends up back in the ocean. King Caesar goes back into his hidey hole. He didn't do a whole lot of anything in this movie. And then credits roll.
Yeah. Classic Godzilla, you know?
I mean, there's not credits, but if there were.
Yeah. Yeah. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Just, these movies, man. I love them.
This one's a fuck ton of fun. I love this one. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla rules. For me, I'm giving this 4 kaijus out of 5.
Yeah.
I love this one. It's so good. It's so much fun. I think upon multiple rewatches, this might go up even further. I just have a blast with this one. I love the ridiculousness of it, but also, like, it feels very real still in this world. And very tangible in that there's actual stakes still for this movie. Like, Godzilla gets his ass kicked a bunch in this movie.
Yeah.
You see the other monsters get their ass kicked a bunch in this movie. So again, I feel like Superman has, Lex Luthor is definitely his number one baddie. I would say that's King Ghidorah for comparing Superman to Godzilla. I would say this is his Bizarro. Like, Mechagodzilla is the Bizarro Godzilla.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I rated that the same. I gave it 4 out of 5. Honestly, I don't know if I can rate it lower than Destroy All Monsters, though, so I'm gonna bump that up to 4.5. I just love these movies. I love how goofy and sci-fi they get. I've always been a sci-fi fan, even more so than horror. Like, early in life, like, sci-fi was my first love and horror came later. And so I love the ones that kind of meld the two. Like, I love the alien movies. I love stuff like this. Space horror is just one of my favorite things. So yeah, this movie is a straight up banger. I'd say, like, if you're gonna watch 3 movies out of the entire Showa era, I would say the original Godzilla, obviously, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, and then I'm just gonna tell you, like, my personal favorite is Invasion of Astro Monster. I don't think that's a popular opinion. I think a lot of people think that movie's cheesy and dumb. I think it's fantastic. So yeah, those, if you're looking for some Showa era movies, those are the 3 that I'd, like, really recommend. But I'd also obviously recommend Destroy All Monsters. I love that one.
So what you're saying is next kaiju Christmas is
Invasion of Astro Monster.
Of Astro Monster.
And we should do Abira, the Horror of the Deep, because that's the one where Godzilla fights, like, a sea monster, and that one fucking rules. So be prepared for that next December, everybody.
More Kaiju Christmas coming in 2026. But yeah, this was a ton of fun. I'm glad we did this because, again, every time we get to talk about a Godzilla movie, it helps check one of those off my proverbial checklist of Godzilla movies.
Oh, heck yeah. All right. Well, that has been our discussion on Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And now it's time for our Fangoria ad read. Fangoria for over 40 years has been the leading source in horror for all things spooky, horrific, and macabre. The famed magazine is back with a vengeance each quarter with brand new issues of Fangoria magazine featuring interviews, retrospectives, and insight into the world of horror. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners to save 20% off their subscription to the magazine, the latest Fango merch, and so much more. You can visit shop.fangoria.com/screamsfromthebasement or hit that QR code at the bottom of your screen if you are watching, and you can use promo code Screams from the Basement at checkout. Thanks to Fangoria for helping support the show. All right, Casey. I'm so glad that we finally talked Godzilla extensively on this show. And now it's time for my favorite question. What have you been doing?
What have I been doing? It's been as we're recording this, we're just past Thanksgiving weekend, so hopefully everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. For me, I watched technically 3 Thanksgiving-themed movies in the horror genre. There's not much. I did not watch Eli Roth Thanksgiving. I did not watch Blood Rage. Those are kind of the only other 2 besides these. But we both watched Thanksgiving. Yes. You for technically the first time, if I'm not mistaken.
First time. Yeah, first time. I'd seen clips, never the whole thing.
Yeah, we watched this for Patreon. We did an entire commentary while watching Thanksgiving. I believe it was, the night before Thanksgiving that we watched?
Yeah. This? We did. It was like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We watched Thanksgiving together.
But our entire commentary is up on Patreon. Go ahead and join our Patreon and give that a listen. It's a ton of fun. Yeah, it's easily this is my favorite Thanksgiving movie. I love Thanksgiving. Watch it every Thanksgiving. Usually Thanksgiving morning is I'll wake up, watch Thanksgiving because it's only an hour, 15 minutes or whatever, and then get ready for actual Thanksgiving Day. It's kind of like my It's Always Sunny Christmas. I watch that every Christmas morning. This is my version of that. It's Thanksgiving.
That surprises me less than Thanksgiving, honestly.
Listen, it's not Thanksgiving until Turkey says nice tits, bitch. And it's not Christmas until Charlie tells Santa to fuck him, or excuse me, when Dennis tells Frank to fuck himself in his fat fucking ass. It's not Christmas until that happens.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, ton of fun. Go check out our commentary.
It is. It's a ton of fun. I had a blast watching that. You can definitely hear my awestruck reaction in real time on Patreon.
Yes, 100% you can. And then the only other one I watched here was our Black Friday late night at the State, which I had to host single-handedly. I felt like Garth when Wayne left Wayne's World, and I had to host by myself.
Oh God, I know. I felt so bad, dude. It was weather in South Dakota is tricky,
and Midwest. Yeah, if you're in the Midwest, you know what happened over Thanksgiving weekend. So Sam unfortunately could not make it out to the show. So peek behind the curtain a little bit. I was shocked how small our crowd was for this. We did not have a very big crowd for it. I think it was roughly 20 to 25 people, which is, pretty good. But usually, for our late nights, pretty much all the ones in October, we had over 100 people for I think all of them. So it was a little surprising that people did not come out for this movie. But also, Poultrygeist, rated 18 plus, crazy bonkers, insane movie. It's a movie you will there's no other movie like Poultrygeist. You're not going to find another movie like this. Yeah.
It is this was one of the wildest movies. Yeah.
This was a first time watch for you. I was pushing hard for Poultrygeist on Thanksgiving weekend. What were your thoughts though? Because you did watch this the same night we showed this at the State. Yeah.
because I was bummed. I was bummed that I was gonna miss it with a crowd. From what I've heard, Mike Timmerman, shout out to Mike, could not stop giggling through the whole thing. This is a very Mike movie.
100%. Yeah.
This movie was disgusting. I had a hard time. I started eating at the start, and then I went, I'm
Terrible
gonna pause
decision.
this. I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna finish my food, and then I'm gonna watch the rest. And I did. And even just like post eating, this was a tough movie to watch. And then I went to eat again after like an hour after the movie, and I was still having trouble eating. Like even
What
the next morning when I got breakfast, I was kind of like,
what was your favorite scene out of this movie?
my favorite scene in this whole thing. So you had told me it was a musical. I
Yeah.
had forgotten that it was a musical until I hit play and they started singing, and I went, "What?" My favorite thing in this whole movie was Lloyd Kaufman's musical number. It was so good, like him just being like randomly in back in the stock room or whatever, in the counter girl outfit that our main character is forced to wear. And at one point they just both flash their asses at the camera, and Lloyd's balls are out basically. Like it's it's a wild movie. One of the craziest cut to blacks I've ever seen. Like I did not
And
I
yeah.
did not anticipate the final shot of this movie at all. I was like, when it happened, I was just like, wait, what? Um, it's offensive. It's offensive as shit. I mean, I think if you're
Everyone.
yeah, to everyone. I mean, I think if you're getting into like trauma, you should know that that's what you're getting into. Like it's going to be something that is intentionally pushing buttons. It's on the right side of things. Like I think like it's doing this in the poking fun at like ignorance, but it's also like it crosses boundaries.
I think the big one in this is that this movie comes out during the Bush administration, post 9/11,
Yes.
has
And
a bunch of like Middle Eastern jokes and
mhm.
terrorism jokes. Again, on the right side of it, but still
Yes.
tells those jokes.
Yeah, and like I could see people watching this and being like, "No, this is not for me." Like
Yeah.
I totally get that. But I mean, it's so goddamn funny. Like
Yeah.
and its
My
heart's clearly in the right place, you know?
my favorite is the entire Jared from Subway, the quote unquote Jared from Subway sequence.
where he
Like I
where he
was
loses all the weight in the bathroom,
he literally shits himself.
shits himself to like a skinny. I mean, he's like he breaks out of his skin suit essentially.
He shits himself. Like
Yeah.
himself. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yes. Oh my god. I
I love it. It's so good. And then
yeah.
I followed up Poultry. Well, I didn't follow it up because I watched this before the movie, but I watched the making of documentary Poultry in Motion. Truth is Stranger Than Chicken, which is the hour and a half long making of Poultrygeist. Um, it honestly like leaves a bunch of stuff out. Like a lot of the musical number um, stuff is like not really in this documentary. The big musical number in the documentary though is Lloyd's big musical number.
Okay.
Um, in the documentary, you get to see full on Lloyd's balls hanging out of his skirt, and the entire crew laughing at it because it's like, haha, like there's been naked girls and naked men this entire time, and now Lloyd's balls are hanging out. Lloyd is kind of a dick in this documentary. Fair warning to people watching this. He's a dick. He's being an asshole while making this movie. But also the movie starts with like the three big rules of trauma is like make sure people are okay, make sure people are safe, make sure properties are safe and we're not damaging anything. And let's make a good movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's what making movies should be. The funniest part though I found, and I gave this in my intro for the movie, was the two big places that they shot this movie were in an abandoned McDonald's, which is where the restaurant is, and a church. which was like right next door to the McDonald's. And that's where like the cast and crew slept, was in that church. But the owners of that McDonald's building would not allow them to shoot any sex scenes at the McDonald's. That was like one rule that
So
they had
weird.
for some reason. So guess where they shot the sex scenes, because it wasn't in their contract? In the church.
Church. Yeah.
Yep.
Why
so
not?
the entire scene where Arby is like having dreaming of a three-way with Mickey and Wendy is shot in the church.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Not at the McDonald's. Yeah.
I love that.
So highly recommend watching Poultry in Motion after this as a companion piece.
I may have to seek that out because I'm very interested in the making of that movie.
It's on Tubi, which I think most of the making of Troma movies are on Tubi as well.
Nice. Awesome.
But that's all I've been doing. Sam, what about you? What else have you been doing besides Thanksgiving and Poultry Guys? What other bird-related movies have you been watching?
Well, dinosaurs came from birds. I watched the new Jurassic World, Jurassic World Rebirth. And, you know what? I had a good time with this. I gave it 3.5 stars. I think it kind of embraces being a B movie more than the last 3 have. I don't know how much I've talked about the Jurassic World movies on this podcast. I don't like them. Like, the whole new trilogy was just really underwhelming for me. It just didn't do it. This one, it's not a reinvention of the franchise by any means, but it has great dino set pieces. It's got stock characters, but they're played by actors that kind of at least have some kind of gravitas to them. And I don't know, like it wasn't anything more than a Jurassic Park movie, but it wasn't trying to be anything more than a Jurassic Park movie. And I found it a little bit refreshing. Like, I don't know. I didn't find it, like, had all the hallmarks of, like, the big franchise movies that they typically do nowadays. Like, I don't know. I liked it. I actually liked it. I'd recommend it more than the Jurassic World movies. I think it's probably my favorite since 3. But yeah, that's not saying much. So
I'm tapped out on these movies. For me, it's one of those franchises where I'm like, I got the original, I'm good.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I've always been too. Like, I like 2 and I like 3, but like the first one is the one, like,
yeah.
Jurassic Park.
And again, like I said, I think 3 is easily my favorite sequel, but I'm like, I'm not just gonna like pop on Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how I felt about this one. Like, I was like, I like it. I'll probably not watch it again. Like, it was good. It was good, not great. I'll go with the rewatch. I rewatched Godzilla -1 because, like I said, I've been in a Godzilla mood. This movie, like, I teared up both times that I saw it in the theaters. This movie made me, like, openly weep through the back half this time around. Like, I was very much like, I watched this the weekend that we opened Wicked for Good at the Twin, and like there were a lot of people coming out of that movie just like sniffling, and like they had their tissues and everything, and I was like kind of like in my head, obviously not to people, but like in my head being like, okay, and then I came home and I put this on and I did the exact same thing. So like, we all have our good cry movies, and mine just happens to be Godzilla -1. But it's a fantastic movie. I love it, and it was a great rewatch. I watched the minus color version, which I'd very much recommend if anybody has not seen it with the minus color version. It's gorgeous in black and white. I really loved it. And then I've been binging some TV. I watched the latest. I've caught up, except for this last episode that just dropped yesterday as we record this. I've caught up on It Welcome to
Okay.
Derry.
Yeah. So we're
Have
at the
you?
same point. So I haven't watched Thanksgiving weekend's episode yet.
Okay, yeah.
So
I
we're both
really
at
like this show.
Pennywise's return.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
His entrance in episode 5 is great. Like, I I wish this
Here's
had less
something.
CG. That's my
Okay. Here's
sorry.
something
Yeah.
I don't think people have talked enough about. This show is cheesy as hell,
Oh, it is. Yeah.
but I love it for its cheesiness. This is what I
Yeah.
want from this show. I want it to stay cheesy and goofy. Like like you said, there's some iffy CGI. There's the scene where all the kids are in the graveyard and getting
Yeah.
chased by ghost kids, and I'm like,
Yeah.
is this Goosebumps? What are we doing? But I'm like, I kind of love this because it feels like we're in Goosebumps, but in it. I don't know. Yeah, this show is cheesy as hell, but so much fun. And totally earns Bill Skarsgård's big triumphant return.
Oh
In
yeah,
episode
100%. Yeah. It's funny too. I feel like, and I'll talk about this in my next thing. I feel like I've heard a lot of people compare it to Stranger Things, and I'm like, let's not forget that Stranger Things is directly inspired by Stephen King and specifically it. Like,
Yeah.
not, I know that the movies that Andy Muschietti did like came out afterwards, but like it was very clearly influenced by the book and the 90s miniseries and all of that. So I'm really liking Welcome to Derry. It took a little while for me to get like super into it. Like I think the first 3 episodes are okay, and then like 4 and 5 are really where it starts cooking. 4 has a pretty gross eyeball thing that I was like maybe a little overhyped for, because it was like, oh, it's not Fulci level. Like it was fine, but I was like, I don't necessarily understand the people who are like, oh, I had to look away from that. I was like, I never had to, I don't know. And I'm pretty grossed out by most eyeball stuff.
It's too much CGI for me to get like actually. I'm like, oh, they're cool, that's fun, but it's not like
It is,
ugh,
yeah. And I
'cause
think
it's
that's
CGI.
where it is. I'm like, if it was a practical effect, I think I would have had that reaction. But because it's like, and I know it was a practical effect, like they had a prosthetic, but it's like the Thing, like remake prequel. Like you can have the greatest practical effects ever, but
Yeah.
if you CGI over
Isn't the
them,
prosthetic still like the green? Like it's still a green.
yeah, it might be, honestly, that they
I think it
just
was like
then
the
like,
green thing with like an eyeball on the end.
yeah, and they animate over it. So it just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine. But no, I do like Welcome to Derry, and I recommend it if anybody's checking it out. I've also watched the new season of Stranger Things, at least the first 4 episodes that they dropped for the Thanksgiving weekend. It's very good. It's very Stranger Things. Like, I mean, at this point, we're 5 seasons in, like, you know what you're gonna get with Stranger Things. There are people that are like, oh, I was disappointed, or oh, this surprised me. And I'm kind of like, I don't get either of those reactions, because to me, I went into it expecting more Stranger Things, and I got more Stranger Things. Like everybody's back, everybody's acting like, I don't know. I'm not understanding the divisiveness, both positive and negative on this one. I'm like, it's a solid season of Stranger Things so far. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the second half. I don't have much more to say other than that. So yeah, if you like Stranger Things, if you've kept up with it over the years, worth checking out. If not, this is not going to be the season that turns the tables for you. It's just not. So yeah, I don't know. That's what I've been doing. Yeah, probably have a few more I'm just in a real big Godzilla mood right now, so I'll probably have a few more Godzilla movies to talk about the next time.
Sam's gonna
But
keep
yeah,
his kaiju Christmas rolling.
I am. It's Kaiju Christmas all month, baby.
Well, if Sam, we're here at the final part of the show. Let's get to some plugs. If people want to keep up with maybe some of your kaiju Christmas watching, where can they do so?
Well, you can subscribe to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube if you like that video component. Never miss an episode. Give us a 5-star review. Give us a like. Give us a rating. All that kind of stuff. You can also follow us on all of our socials on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok. where we talk about our events that we do, keep up to date with the late nights, which Casey will have more on that in a bit. And yeah, all of our cool stuff. You'll never miss an episode. You get some fun extra content from us. And yeah, follow us on socials. Just search Screams from the Basement. Our handle's a little different everywhere because we have a long name. Casey, if they want to support the show monetarily, how can they do that?
The best way they can do so is by joining our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/screams from the basement. Check out the link in the episode description. But for as little as $1 a month, you can help support the show. Again, for $5 a month, you get all of our cool bonus content, including our monthly bonus episode. Every 2 weeks, you get Sam's written reviews. Every 2 weeks, you get my video vlogs from the collection, and so much more on our Patreon. Our Patreon bonus episode here for the month of December is going to be a fun one. We're nearing the end of the year. It's kind of that time to recap everything that we've been doing or watching, or in this case, listening to in 2025. That's why Sam and I are going to power rank our top 10 music albums of 2025. So that is going to be our Patreon bonus episode for the month of December. So be on the lookout for that later this month. And if you want to help support the show, you can get some cool swag by checking out our TeePublic store. Just go to teepublic.com. Again, teepublic.com/screams from the basement. Link in the episode description. All of our designs are up there. Or if you ever see us in person, you can buy one of our t-shirts at our merchandise table as well. So we will have t-shirts in person, in hand, for the first time ever. So super cool. Also, check out our very own horror convention, Screams by Night, where we've been announcing some really cool things for that as we get to planning that event coming up April 25th, 2026. So check us out, Screams by Night. All of this is available on screamsfromthebasement.com. But next week, we are back with another interview for the show. We are joined by comedian Samantha Hale, chatting about her stand-up special, Samantha Hale, Horror Nerd. So that'll be our next episode. And then 2 weeks from now, we're going to be chatting 2 Christmas horror classics.
Yeah.
Jack Frost, not the Michael Keaton one, and the Grinch riff.
The Michael Keaton one.
Not the Michael Keaton one. The Killer Snowman one. Jack Frost, and the Grinch riff. The Mean One, starring David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown himself. So that is our next episode, Jack Frost and the Mean One.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this on Friday, unless my ADHD brain spaced and Casey already mentioned
correct.
It. Okay. We do have a late night at the State. I will be there for that one. I promise. Hell or high water. We are playing Krampus, which is one of my personal favorite Christmas horror movies. I'm very excited for it. It's such a cozy, warm, heartwarming tale about a German Santa demon that comes and eats families. I love it. So yeah, come check out Krampus with us. I'm Krampusnacht at the State with the Sioux Falls Krampusnacht people there. It's gonna be so fucking fun. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Yeah. Is there anything else? Is that it?
That is it.
Okay.
That's it. That is it. Thank you for reminding me of Krampus on it's a very Krampus Christmas here on Screams from the Basement as well. It's been a very kaiju Christmas on this episode. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for tuning in. Sam, why don't you go ahead and give us that sign off?
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And sweet screams.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.